Second new comic book day of the year, and after two kind of fizzles ending 2025 and beginning 2026, I am glad to say we're back. Howdy, American Texan here, and I love comic books and reading comic books and talking about comic books. Other channels will talk about the drama and the stupid things that writers and artists may say, but here we focus on the stories and everything that's inside. And it is Wednesday, January 14th, and we've got a big stack of books here from many different publishers, as well as some supplies and a couple other things I got off the shelf. Plus, one thing I got in the mail that is super rare, and I cannot believe I got it, and I'm going to share it with you at the end of this video. But first, let's go over what I got today in the shop, starting with consignments or things that are outside of my pull list. No consignments this week. My shop was doing a lot of sales on Golden and Silver Age books. Not much I collect. I think the oldest things I collect are 80s Punishers, and they were older than that. So nothing there, but I did have to get some more comic book top loaders. I only put my signed comic books in top loaders. I don't put anything else in top loaders. And I am very surprised that the very first batch that I bought at the end of 2024, I am out of those. That means that I've had at least 10 signed books come my way, and I'm super excited for that. And I had one more come in this week, and I didn't have a top loader for it. So I had to get top loaders, and I will show you what that book is at the end of this video. And then as far as trades, I didn't have any trades on my list this week, so I went into my want list, and I bought something that's been on my list for a while now, and that is Batman Black Mirror. This is recommended by Dylan, the Real Comic Book Gamer. And he says it's his favorite Batman story. And I think Wes from Thinking Critical said it was great too. I haven't read it. I don't know much about it, but my comic shop had it. I didn't have a trade in my box this week, so I went ahead and got it. So those are everything outside of my pull box. Let's jump into my pull box, starting with Marvel. I did not have any Marvel last week, and this week I only have 2 books. I'm a little cool on them. But Battle World, I keep hearing good things, and we finally squared it away. I talked with my LCS owner because we've been having issues getting me the Mark Bagley #1 variant. We ordered it, it was postponed, and then it looks like it was canceled. So she managed to get me another copy ordered. I didn't want to read number 2, 3, 4, 5 without reading number 1 first. And I'm not going to go out there and buy another copy digital, and I don't want to, of course, read it on a pirate site. So I just haven't been reading it, but I still hear it's good, so I went ahead and kept pulling it. In fact, as I was in the shop, this was in my pull box, as I was in the shop, someone bought the last copy off the shelf. So people are interested in it, people are liking it. This is by Christos Gage. He's kind of hit and miss for me, but we'll see. Hopefully I like it. And then we also got Dungeons of Doom. I know a lot of people are kind of cool on this. This is by, I think it's Benjamin Percy Kennedy. That's right, Philip Kennedy Johnson had a story in there. I don't know if it's an anthology or what they're trying to do here, but it's got a few writers that I like, so I figured I'd try it out. I believe it's 3 issues, but those are the 2 Marvels that I'm reading this week. Moving right along to DC, I've got 4 DC books, including DCKO #3. And I actually read this one in my car. Let me know if my YouTube short brought you here to look at the books that I'm pulling and reading this week. DCKO, I was super surprised. This is actually, I don't know what they call it, but it's not a die cut cover, but the cover is actually inside, and this is a little something that goes over the top. So the DCKO is actually a window frame into the cover on the inside. That was really nice. It held really nicely. It read really nicely. I already read DCKO #3. Not going to talk about it here. I'm going to talk about it on my Let's Talk Big 2 video that comes out on the weekends. This was awesome. Favorite issue of DCKO, and this got me super excited for DCKO again. I thought the All Fight month was a big letdown. This one got me back into it. So I'm excited for DCKO. That's #3. Then we also got the tie-in Aquaman Blood Feud. This is Aquaman #13 tying into DCKO, and Jeremy Adams writes the best tie-ins. His Green Lantern tie-in, the previous Aquaman tie-in. These were all fantastic because they're stories that stand on their own right. They fit in with the major story that's being told here in the comic, and they actually do relate to what's happening in the event. But it doesn't take away. It's not like a window dressing or a totally separate non sequitur. It actually fits with the main story and it fits with the event. He's very talented at writing those event tie-ins. So that's Aquaman #13, I think. Yes, 13. I'll check again for this week. And then a couple of DC non-KOs that I got. Action Comics. This one is number 1094. Our Superboy at War. So I believe Superboy did a deal with General Lane to get the military out of Smallville and stop hunting for him. And it looks like Superboy is recruited into the military. I'm not sure how that's going to work. He's still trying to figure out his morality. I imagine there are some pretty big lessons to learn here and some pretty big heads to butt with. in him trying to figure out who he is as Superboy. I think this could be a very impactful story. I do also see a couple ways that it could go wrong in the storytelling, but I'm hopeful because I've really enjoyed all of the Action Comics Superboy. And then lastly, we've got Batman and Robin number 29, the penultimate issue of Philip Kennedy Johnson's legendary run of Batman and Robin. I am loving this. If you love a good Bat Dad story, this is the best run. I started reading this run when Philip Kennedy Johnson came on, I believe around issue 16. And wow, it has just been fantastic ever since. I'm really enjoying this one. And this is the return of Scarface. So I am super enjoying this one. I'll be reading this one last because I imagine it'll be the most insane book. If I hadn't already read DCKO first, this is going to be a tough choice for book of the week for TC for me. Let's take a look at some indies. Starting with a book that I've heard a couple of people talk about last week that came out, and thankfully my shop had one more on the shelf. This is Twilight Zone number 3 from IDW. This came out last week. I heard it was a very interesting story, had a little bit of a twist at the end. The Twilight Zone was on my radar, but I did not pick it up just because I didn't know who the writers were. And, it's kind of a gamble. And IDW, sometimes I just haven't cared for too much of their stuff. IDW is not something that I will give more benefit of the doubt, like Titan Comics or now Bad Idea or Ghost Machine or even Skybound. Any of those guys put out a book I'm on the fence on, I will still get it because they have a name that I can trust. IDW, still not there yet for me, but I heard really good things about this one, so I decided to check it out. Then we got The Future Is. This is issue 9. I'm still behind on this one, but it's a lot of fun. Everyone at the shop's always talking about it, so I wanted to try it out, that hacker kind of story. And a few people are also doing some of the hacker games that come along with it, some digital capture the flag or something. They're having a lot of fun with it. I think I'm out of that, but that'll be fun to read and catch up on. And then we've got Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring. We've got another movie variant. Is this Chucky? I don't know. I'm pulling all the Tony Fleece movie variants, B covers. This one is disturbing. It's disturbing in the most entertaining way possible. You've got the anthropomorphic murder bear, and she's stringing along one of the daughters or family members of her victims to try to not get caught, but also, I think maybe get her rocks off. I don't know. It's disturbing, but it's also interesting to read. If it didn't have the anthropomorphized animals, I don't think I'd be reading it, but it's that morbid curiosity that just scratches that itch a little bit. Then we've got Geiger, speaking of Ghost Machine. This is Geiger number 20. And we are full on with the Northerner here. We had a little bit of a detour with the Glowing Woman, and looks like now we're back with Geiger and the Northerner here. Interested to see how all this is going up in the Unnamed War. I think we've got a big crossover coming. I can kind of feel it if they haven't already announced it. So I'm excited for that one. And then we've got G.I. Joe, the Dreadnought War, part 5 of 5. G.I. Joe number 17 here. I am super enjoying this one. After the detour we had with CoverGirl and Baroness, we're just having some good old classic G.I. Joe fights. It's just turn off your brain and just enjoy a good popcorn comic. Don't eat popcorn while you read your comic, though. And then we've got Transformers number 28. Can't believe we're 28 issues into this. Feels like it's every week or every month is such an enjoyment to read this. And it's gotten a little bit less interesting since DWJ left writing assignment here, but it's still interesting. It's kind of gone a little bit of a different direction. A lot of the tone has changed. The art, I think, has held up. But I'm still interested in reading it. Again, the hardest part for me is I didn't grow up on Transformers, so I don't know all these guys, and some of them blend in together. I have a hard time telling them apart, but it is still an interesting story and one that I hope to keep up on. I believe this is the last one. Yep, last one, Space Ghost. This is number 7, and looking forward to this one. Space Ghost has not let me down. Every issue has been a banger. I'm not sure I've given an issue less than a 4.5 out of 5 since this thing came out a year and a half ago. So we've got number 7 here, and I love these covers here. Oh man, I can't remember who does the cover. I will give them proper props and recognition in my reviews. Let's talk indies at the beginning of the following week. But man, these covers here are awesome. I got the foils from the first few, and they are really, really beautiful. So I'm excited for that one. Space Ghost number 7, good old classic storytelling. Now let me get that book, that special collector book that I got. It's not a collector edition or anything like that. It's just so rare. I want to get it in a top loader before I show it to you. Here it is. Came in the mail last week. We've got Heroic Tales number 1, signed by the entire team. You've got John Bua's signature there, the writer. You've got Matt Barr's signature there. He was the logo designer. You've got Oscar, the colorist, and Renzo, I believe, the artist there. It's kind of hard to see with my light there, but I hope I got all the names right. Signed by the entire team, and I cannot believe that I got this puppy. This is a crowdfunded comic, Heroic Tales by John's Longbox, a fantastic YouTube channel. and man knows his comics. I love listening to John, as a newer, younger, I say younger, I've been reading comics for about 10 years. He's been reading it for a lifetime. And so his book is just a classic comic book story. I love the idea of the patriarch and everything that he does. And John basically got 3 comics and shipped them all over the world to his creative team, got everyone to sign it. So as far as I know, if I'm remembering this correctly, we've got 3 of these. John is keeping 2, and he silent auctioned the other one. I don't know whose signature is down there, so I'll have to go check the credits. I guess that's Renzo's down there. So out of 3 that exist, 2 are staying with John, and then this one is with me. I won it in a silent auction. You had to email him your bid, and I won, and he shipped it out, and it is absolutely so cool to have this one. I don't chase signatures. I get them if they come through the store, or an artist comes, or a writer comes through the store. But this is one that was so much fun. It was one of the first crowdfund comics I got. It's one of my favorite YouTube channels to listen to and watch. And so to have this is just an awesome, awesome thing. And whether or not Heroic Tales universe expands, I know he's got plans to expand, and he's already working on several books in addition, like the Patriarch and other worlds there. Whether or not, this is just such a fun little keepsake for me. So thank you, John, for doing this. Thank you for the entire team for going through all that hassle of internationally shipping this around. I'm super excited to have this one. I got to figure out where I'm going to display it. For now, I'm going to put it right there. It's just off camera. I'll have to get it on camera there. But thank you guys for watching. That's everything that I'm reading this week. And on the weekend, I will do my Let's Talk Big 2. Don't really call them reviews because we're just talking about the stories and looking at the art inside and just talking about what I like and didn't like about things. And then at the beginning of next week, usually on Mondays, we do Let's Talk Indies, and we go over all the indies and books that came in from the mail, from crowdfunds, as well as the indies that I got in the shop. So if all that interests you, like and subscribe, hit subscribe so you don't miss a video. I try to do 3 a week. And thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your time and attention. It means the world to me, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Adios.